Access to Democracy is made possible by donations from the following organizations. Thomson Reuters, a global company with expertise and insight to unravel complex situations in the areas of law, tax, compliance, government, and media. Their worldwide network of journalists and editors keep customers up to speed on relevant global events. Thomson Reuters, the Answer Company. The Division Championship Minnesota Twins are looking to go all the way to the World Series in 2024. Bolstered by inspirational shortstop Carlos Correa, a healthy Brian Buxton, and rookie phenom Royce Lewis, plus a pitching staff led by Pablo Lopez and an outstanding bullpen featuring Johan Duran, the Twins are the best bargain in the major leagues, and Target Field is the best venue in baseball. Sheridan Dulas & Kins, PA, a family and criminal defense law firm, has been serving clients in Dakota County and throughout Minnesota for over 40 years. Ranked a Tier 1 Best Law Firm by U.S. News and World Report every year since 2009, Sheridan Dulas & Kins are here to help you in your most difficult life circumstances. Established in 2007, 45th Parallel Spirits was among the first 50 micro-distilleries in the United States. Based in New Richmond, Wisconsin, all aspects of production occur at our facility. If you're interested in visiting and learning more about the 45th Parallel Distillery, please check our website and plan a visit to tour our facility and taste our spirits. Truestone Financial, with locations in Minnesota and Wisconsin, has proudly served its members since 1939. Truestone engages, educates, and supports its members to ensure they have the tools to empower their financial well-being. Truestone Financial, your neighborhood credit union. Learn more at truestone.org.
Hello and welcome to Access to Democracy. Thank you for tuning us in. I'm Bill Raker, your host for this edition of the program. And our guest today is a member of the Eagan City Council, Cyndee Fields.
Thank you.
Cyndee, welcome to Access to Democracy.
Thank you, and I appreciate being invited, and congratulations on the 25 years.
Well, thank you.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, we just celebrated our 25th year of Access to Democracy on the air, and it was quite a celebration.
Yes.
And now we're into our second 25 years of Access to Democracy. Thanks in a large part and great deal to the Eagan TV staff who support us in this effort. They really do a fantastic job, and we appreciate the fact that they're able to help us.
They do,
as
yes.
a part of the program.
Absolutely.
You know, Cyndee, today we're going to talk about the City Council's role as a public service, which sounds like kind of a civics class, doesn't it?
It is.
And we will talk about the role of a city council in local government. But first, Cyndee, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. You've been on the Eagan Council now for how long?
23 plus years.
23 plus years. Congratulations. Are you currently the longest serving member of the council?
At this point, and at the end of my next term, I should be the longest serving city council member, period.
Well, that's something to celebrate.
It is.
It is, yeah.
It's a passion.
We can tell.
Yeah.
What got you interested in being a leader in local government?
Well, I have always been involved in the city, whether I started when we moved here. I was involved in the schools, started at the elementary school, middle school, the 196 and their superintendent group, the curriculum and instructional committee, got involved in the high school, got involved in the Park and Rec, commission, wanted to build the community center, and got involved in that task force, and here I am.
Well, you have quite the record of helping Eagan progress into the leading city that it really is.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And it's a passion of mine. It's just to get people involved and to do things for the city is so important. And that's why we have such a great city.
I believe it is,
yeah.
Yes. What are some of the experiences that you've had that have helped you prepare for being a council member? And tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, to prepare me is prior to running or during my campaign, the city flooded.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And attending over 100 neighborhood meetings, not as a council member, but wanting to learn more and to see how it affected our residents. And that got me very interested in public works. And I've been on the Public Works Committee since I joined the council. It's fascinating to me. I think you've heard my saying, I love pipes. And I do. I'm just fascinated on how the city runs, and people don't realize what Public Works does, not only streets, but our sewer systems, our water, and all that's important.
Oh, it definitely is. The infrastructure of a city has a great deal to do with the vibrancy, the progressiveness of the city. So it's great that we have you and others focused on the infrastructure for Eagan. You know, what really is the role of the city council?
Our role is to be a governing body, or like a legislative body, and to work with our administration to lead the city. I mean, we work on land use issues, infrastructure issues, budget. That's the whole governing. So the time that it takes to learn this, you know, reading your packet, understanding, going to questions to the staff, you know, because we don't know a lot of things at first. And so you rely on staff to help you. And so that's the role, to make sure that our city is governed correctly, and that our administration is following what they're doing. So it's, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it is.
Well, yes, it is for the citizens of the community. So local government here in Eagan, some of the components we were just talking about, the city council and the mayor are elected positions.
Yeah.
Okay. The voters in the district, the city of Eagan, vote for those elected officials. And those elected officials then employ a professional staff, right?
Yeah.
And in addition to the elected officials and the employed professional staff, there are a variety of advisory councils made up of members of the community who volunteer their time to participate in government as well. So how do those three components mesh together and work together?
Oh, well, we can't do anything without our commission. I mean, our commissions help formulate and work on plans that we want them to do something. And we give, hey, will you just do the dirty work, but the groundwork?
In the weeds work.
Yeah, to get this, you know, brushed out so that we can then take it up to the council. That's important. It's also giving another opinion on items. So it's not just 5 people and their opinions. It's a vast community of people that are showing their opinions to whatever projects they're working on. You know, and that's important. And then it rolls up to staff, and our staff runs our commissions, and our commissions are super cool.
So if our viewers, any of them are interested in serving as a volunteer on one of the commissions, they can go to the City of Eagan website and get the information about the different commissions that are in effect and how to apply.
Yep, and that usually starts in, I want to say March, or I know we start interviewing in April for the commissions, but yeah, it's real important to do that. I mean, I think we're trying to get younger people involved, so high schoolers or college kids especially. I mean, this is a great opportunity for them to learn what a city does and how we run a city. I think we're pretty progressive in the way we run the city, and it's good to have like fresh faces, and we encourage that.
And so people who fill out the applications to be a volunteer, those applications are reviewed by the council, and those appointments are made by the council.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now that's the elected officials and your advisory commissions. Let's talk about the professional staff. What's the relationship? How do the staff members and the management side of things work together with the city council to move the city forward, to stay on budget, to keep the citizens engaged? How do you do all of those things working with the staff people?
Well, our staff is amazing. I mean, they have been there a long time. Diane Miller started out as an intern with the City of Eagan. So it's super, we have a very cohesive, very open relationship. At any point, we can contact each other. about a question or work together about an idea we might have. And that's what makes the city work well. Because we've been around here a long time. Most of the council's been here for a very long time. And so is our staff. So we're like a family, and that's the council I always call it. It's family picture time. They all kind of begrudging me, but they take the family picture. But that's important. I mean, any one of my council members can call me day or night. Any one of the staff knows that we can call each other day or night.
Well, that's a remarkable degree of connectedness to have in the governments of a local jurisdiction. So how does the council go about deciding priorities for the city? A little bit about that process.
It's workshops. So our priorities are usually the council sits with staff and decides on what our priorities are going to be. And we do a workshop. Staff does the research, brings it forward, and we read it, and then we have open dialogue. It's there's never any negativeness. Everybody's always open to listening to each other. And that's how we've moved this city forward for years. I might have a question regarding somebody, what I might not agree with or they might not agree with, that we take that off camera. We take that offline and we have that discussion one-on-one.
So how often do you have these workshops, and are they open to the public?
Oh, absolutely. The workshops are probably the most fun to come to because they're meaty. They're every other Tuesday. So the second and the fourth Tuesday, yeah, that's how it works. Because our regular council meetings are first and third. So they're open to the public. They're at 5:30 in the Eagan room. We have our commissions come in and report on what they've been working on. We could have, a business come in and report on what they might be redeveloping. So you get more of a meaty sense of what the council is going to be working on going forward.
So it's really an opportunity for any person or organization that works or lives in Eagan to come and talk to the council about what's important to them and to learn what you're considering that's important for the city.
And like we had this summer, we had the Juneteenth organization come in and introduce themselves and what they were going to do with Vikings Lakes and with our Market Fest. And you know what? We would not have met them if it wasn't for this opportunity. That they came in and introduced themselves and told us, this is what we want to do, and we're like, we're 100% behind you. Let's do it. That's a great thing to have.
So this is a great point to ask this question, Cyndee. From your perspective, since you've been engaged and involved with many different aspects of things going on in the community of Eagan, and you've been on the city council for 23 plus years, what in your perspective makes Eagan stand out a little uniquely above some of the other surrounding communities?
I think our willingness to be inclusive and to work towards bringing people together. It's so important. I mean, you can go to Market Fest and you see that inclusive people. Everybody's there. You go to Woodhaven Park and you see the opportunities where kids didn't have a playground that are in a wheelchair, and now they have a playground. I mean, that's the forward thinking that we have, and that's what's brought Eagan to the forefront. We always say we're number one. Number one in family, for families to live here. We've been number one for, Money Magazine.
Right.
It's all about wanting to get people involved, wanting to bring everybody together, and that's what helps.
Well, I'm glad that you brought up the fact that Eagan has been recognized and honored multiple times by different organizations, even at the national level, because of the quality of life that people have who live in Eagan, and all of the services and facilities that are available to people who live and work here, and the businesses and organizations, within the city boundaries. So that's quite an accomplishment, quite an achievement. How much more growth can Eagan handle? in terms of residencies and businesses?
Well, we're working on redevelopment. So we don't have a lot of areas that we can develop, but there's a lot of opportunities for redevelopment. Like our redevelopment at the Central Park. I mean, there's 2 businesses that are gone, downsized, and the redevelopment to bring in residents into one part of it and retail and commercial into the other part. I mean, that was a whole process where we reached out to the neighbors, we reached out to the elementary school that was right there, and we got everybody's feedback in the best way that we can redevelop that. We've got redevelopment coming, you know, it's just how we have to approach it, you know, so there's opportunities.
And the Central Park is a great business mecca to go to because there are all kinds of businesses and services there. There have been a couple of other major companies who had their headquarters here in Eagan that have moved out. And I know the council and the staff of Eagan have worked very, very hard to, I don't know if you'd call it redevelopment, but repurpose those locations and facilities. Yeah. How's that going?
It's going well. And, you know, I have to say, we had a workshop in the middle of COVID or the beginning of COVID. And I had said, you know, we have to think about this. We don't know what is going to come of these parking lots, these businesses. And so we were forward thinking on, you know, in workshops on how are we going to do this and how are we going to adjust to this. And that's why we've been able to adjust so well to all these corporations that are leaving or, you know, wanting to redevelop. And that's important to have that forward thinking and working as a team, you know.
So if there are any individuals or organizations, companies watching Access to Democracy during this interview, Cyndee, who are thinking about a place to move to live or to do business, what would you tell them to consider? Why would you tell them to consider Eagan?
Oh, well, same reason why I got the Vikings here.
All right.
Actually, they called me, but.
Well, that was a touchdown for sure, wasn't it?
That was a touchdown. I was still like, no, I'm not taking your call. No, I'm not taking your call. Okay, I guess I'll take your call. But yeah, we have low taxes. We're so close to the airport. I mean, and that's huge for anybody. It's 10 minutes to get to the airport from my house. So we have all those pluses. We got the low taxes, and taxes are tough, you know, this go around, but you know, we try to keep our taxes low. We have good infrastructure. We have great roads. So that's why people are coming here.
And the city has consistently operated in a financially responsible way so that you are able to keep taxes low and yet meet the requirements that the residents and the businesses have here in terms of the services that they need to have. And as you mentioned earlier, maintaining the infrastructure. Yeah,
it's real important. I mean, people, you go outside of Eagan when you're driving around and you go into another neighboring city and you notice the streets are not as well kept as ours. You know, because we have a program that it's, you know, we're going to update your street by, you know, with this program, and we haven't changed that.
So does the city have a long-range vision or a long-range plan that you're working on that you can share a little bit with us?
Well, long-range vision, it's always changing. I mean, we can have a vision right now, but something new comes up, it's all out the door, you know. So the vision is just to keep our sustainability going, our diversity and inclusion stuff going. All that's important. So that's our vision. And our vision is also making sure that our park and recreation is going. We've got a new art house. I just drove by it. You know, I hadn't been out there for a while. It's beautiful, but that was talked about when I started on council. It's taken that long to actually have a building put in the ground. So the vision is just like, what do we need? We've got Goat Hill that nobody ever thought we'd have, you know, the thermo ice that we can use.
That's new, isn't it?
It is, and it'll open in next year. So that our hockey team, and that was a partnership with a hockey program. You know, it's just always changing and it's always something, but we just always keep our eyes open to what opportunities could be here for Eagan, for the residents. You know, pickleball, who would have known? Pickleball's taken off, you know? We're changing over our tennis courts to pickleball courts.
So what you're describing is a local government, a city government, city management that's visionary and dynamic in terms of how they evaluate what the needs are, not only the needs today, but the needs for the future,
Right.
and adjust the plans and priorities accordingly to do that. How challenging is that?
I haven't found it challenging. It keeps us going. You know, it's not a challenge if you're doing something better for the city.
So it's more of a motivation that it is a challenge?
It's a passion for all of us to make
Yeah.
this city, you know, as great as it always has been, to continue on that path. So it's not a challenge. I mean, yeah, you always have challenges, but they're not something that we can't overcome because we work as a team with the city council, with our staff, and with our commission. We're all one team, and that's how we grow.
So as we're dissecting and learning about city government, local government from your experiences, Cyndee, what are some of the challenges of running a city like Eagan?
There's all sorts of challenges. With any business, you have challenges with budgets.
You got two big ones right now you can share?
No,
No?
I can't. I'm not
Okay.
sure if they're released. But there are challenges.
Well, that you've solved, a couple of major challenges that...
Our budget, you know, it was a challenge to get our budget, and it's not a happy budget, but we had to do it. It's, you know, we're going to see an increase in taxes. Unfortunately, I think it's 8.3% this year and 5.6% next year. Nobody likes to see it. That's a challenge.
Or, yeah.
That's a
I don't
huge
want. I don't want our viewers to be shocked about what you're sharing with us. But that's reality, isn't it?
It's reality, and
Yeah.
it's something that, you know, we've been sharing all along in our budget process. So it's not something that's new, but it's tough, you know, to have to share those news. That's a challenge. Another challenge is making sure that we have our redevelopment done correctly, and we're not upsetting residents. You know, we had the Blue Cross Blue Shield proposal that upset a lot of residents. And that was a challenge, you know.
Sure.
And they went away, and so now we have to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to lose a lot of soccer fields there. What do you do with those children? You know, those are the challenges in my head. I'm always thinking recreation. So it's like, where are we going to have these kids play soccer? Because they need to be in a sport if they want to participate.
For sure. So some commissions and staff people are working with the council to figure out how to solve that challenge.
Yeah,
right?
it's a discussion that, you know, we'll have occasionally, you know, before a council meeting. Where are we going to put these? What are we going to do with this? How are we going to do this? City can't pay for a new soccer field right now, so how are we going to do this?
Well, maybe some sponsor will come along and help you with that. Do you think?
I keep pushing a certain person, so.
So we talk about the fact that Eagan, compared to other cities around of comparable size, has a strong financial position, lower taxes, relatively lower taxes, and yet because the cost of everything seems to be going up, our taxes will go up as well. But one of the gauges as to what the residents think about that is, do they feel they get good value from the taxes that they pay into the city? And I think these surveys, these recognitions, awards that the city has gotten, says that the citizens, the residents of Eagan, feel like they do get a good value for what's invested here in the community for them.
And plus, we do a residential survey every other year, and then a business survey in the off years. So we're getting a feedback from our residents and our business owners of what they're finding they need, or where the directions they want to see, if they're happy with certain, you know, services, and if they're not. And engaging them in that way is perfect, because you can't go knock on every business and every resident's door every day. So this is a way for us to get those out. And they market them on Facebook, and they market them on Instagram. And, you know, our communication team at the city is phenomenal, you know, in getting out information, and the police department getting out information, and the fire department. You know, it's just, we're all collaborative in trying to get information out to people.
You know, I want to ask this question because of your activities and all of the work that you have done and are doing with the council. Are there some interesting things, maybe some secret things about running a city government that the populace doesn't know about that you could share?
No, not that I, you know what? When I got on council, there was a lot of infighting. When I joined, my goal was to never have that again, and we don't. So is there something that is tough to run a city on? Yeah, if you had a lot of fighting, you wouldn't be able to get half of what we do get done now. So being able to work as a team, a big team, is what makes this city run so well.
And gives the public the trust and the confidence in how the city is operated. So if people are interested in getting engaged on a commission or maybe some other volunteer way with the city, we talked a little bit about that early on. Would you tell us again how to do it, why someone should do it, and what it really means to be engaged in local government?
Well, number one, you'll never regret doing this. You know, it's so important for you or anybody to get involved and have a say in their city. Whether it's a commission, whether it's a small volunteer position working with an athletic program with the Holtz Farm, just getting your foot in the door and have a say is important. To get involved in a commission, there's a little more dedication, but I think people should do it. I mean, you will never regret it. It's so, you've been on our airport commission forever.
Well, a few years, but still working on it, yes.
But it's like, you don't realize what you don't realize until you get on it, and you learn so much. You know, that's always been my airport commission, has been my little thing. But yeah, I think get out there, get involved. You won't ever regret it, ever.
Well, Cyndee, it's been a real treat to have you on our program, Access to Democracy, to give us a little civics lesson, because so many people think that running a city government is so mysterious. They don't know much about it. Sometimes they don't care about it. But you shared your experiences, you shared your vision, your priorities, your passion about being a part of the governance of a city like Eagan. And you've dispelled a lot of mysteries and answered a lot of questions. And so hopefully we've motivated some of our viewers to become more engaged in Eagan or wherever, whatever community that they live in, to become involved and active in local government. On Access to Democracy, our guest has been Cyndee Fields with the Eagan City Council. We appreciate you for joining the program today. And you can see more of Access to Democracy on accesstodemocracy.com. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Bill.